Hello, 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 hello. Okay, we are live now. Okay, the chapter. Oh no. Okay, okay. A tale of three banks. A tale of three banks. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Wow, Grok is very, very good. 您是英语老师，帮我翻译一下 tale 一个传说，一段叙述，三家银行的故事。三大银行 mega bank， 这三家可能是美联储、JP Morgan、国际银行。哇，英格兰银行和某私人银行的故事。Okay, that's it. It has been said that those who are ignorant 忽略 ignorant 不是实行蒙蔽错误这些无知 of history are doomed to repeat mistakes. It may come as a surprise to learn that the Federal Reserve System is the America's fourth central bank, not its first. We have been through all these before, and each time the result has been the same. Interested in what happened? Then let's set the coordinates of our time machine to the colony of Massachusetts, and the year 1690 to activate. Turn the page. Okay, turn the page. Chapter 15, The Lost Treasure Map. 丢失的宝藏地图 The bitter experience of the American colonies with fiat money, the resolve of the founding fathers to prohibit the new nation from resorting to paper money without backing, the drafting of the Constitution to that end, the creation of a true American dollar, the property that followed. Okay. 细节 OK。 美国殖民地对法定货币的痛苦经历，开国元勋们决心禁止新国家使用无证的为起草宪法，创造真正的美元，随之而来的残忍。The bitter experience of the American colonies with fiat money. The resolve founding fathers of the resolve of the founding fathers to prohibit new nation from resorting to paper money without backing, the drafting of the Constitution to the end, the drafting of the Constitution to the end, The creation of a true American dollar, the prosperity, prosper, prosperity that followed, the bitter experience of American colonies with fiat money, bitter 是痛苦。Oh, it's bitter. The result of the founding fathers to prohibit prohibit the new nation from resort 四处招手 to paper without backing. The drafting of the Constitution to that end. The creation of a true American dollar, a process that followed. 第一和中国银行，第二和中国银行。哎，哦，天呐，哦，天呐，天呐，天呐。Okay. In the golden days of radio on the Igor Bergen show, the ventriloquist would ask his dummy, Mortimer Snarls, how can you be so stupid? And the answer was always the same. After a moment of deep thought on the part of Mortimer, he would draw his reply. Well, it ain't that easy. Mhm. When we look at the monetary monetary chaos around us today, the evaporating value of the dollar and the collapsing financial institution, we are compelled to ask, how did we get into this fix? And unfortunately, our time response would be quite appropriate. Appropriate. 埃德加·伯根赋予时会问他的木偶：“你怎么这么蠢？”嗯，That's easy. To find how we got to where we are, it will be necessary to know where we started. And a good place to begin that inquiry is with Constitution of the United States, Article 1, Section 8 and 10 says, okay, when we look at the monetary chaos around us today, the evaporating value of dollar and the collapsing financial institution, we are compelled to ask, how do we get into this phase? And unfortunately, others' response would be quite appreciated. Look at the monetary chaos around us today. The illustrative value. Evaporate value of dollar and the collapsed financial institution. Evaporating, we are compelled to ask. 强迫强求 compel respect 不得不 How do we get into this fix? 我们是怎么陷入这种困境的 ？Fix 与困境 into this fix. How do we get into this fix? 陷入 And unfortunately, most of the response would be quite appropriate. 人为之道正中要害。哇，天哪，这个Gemini开始发力了。Congress shall have the power to borrow money, to call money, regulate the value thereof, and of foreign coin and fix the standard weights and measures, and to provide the punishment of counterfeiting. No state shall coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin, tender in payment debts. The decrease. Congress shall have the power. Shall have the power to borrow money, coin money, regulate the value of regular the value thereof, and of foreign coin, fix the standard weights and measures. Provide the further punishment of community. Counterfeiting. No state shall coin money, emit bills of credit, 发信息 or make anything but gold and silver coins, a tender in payments of debts. 宪法第1条第8款、第10款。The delegates were precise in their use of these words. Congress was given the power to call money, not to print it. Thomas M. Colony Principles of Constitution Law is plain that to call money is to stamp pieces of metal for use as a media of exchange in commerce according to fixed standards of value. What was prohibited was to emit bills of credit, which, according to the speeches and writing of those who drafted the document, means the printing of paper. IOUs, which were intended to be circulated as money. In other words, the printing of fiat money not backed by gold or silver. At first, it would seem that nothing could be more clear. Yet, these two simple clauses have become the basis for literally thousands of pages of conflicting interpretation. The crux of the problem is that, while the Constitution clearly prohibits the states from issuing fiat money, it does not specifically prevent the federal government from doing so. That was truly an unfortunate oversight on the part of the document's framers. But they probably never dreamed in their wildest nightmares that their descendants could be so stupid as to not understand their intent. 他们的祖先 could be so stupid. At first, it would seem that nothing could be more clear. Yet, 然而 these two simple clauses have become the basis for literally thousands of pages of conflicting interpretation. Become the basis of literally thousands of pages of conflicting interpretation. At first, it seemed that nothing could be more clear. Yet, these two simple clauses have become the basis for literally thousands of pages of conflicting interpretation. The crux of the problem is that, while the Constitution clearly prohibits the states from issuing fiat money, it does not specially prevent. 尽管宪法明确禁止州发行货币，但并未明确禁止 the federal government from doing so. That was truly an unfortunate oversight on the part of the document's framers. That was truly an unfortunate oversight on the part of the document framers, but they probably never dreamed in their wildest nightmares that their descendants could be so stupid as to not understand their intent. 他们的后代会蠢到 as to not understand their intent. Furthermore, 不仅如此 it ain't easy to miss their intent. All one has to do is look at the monetary history that led up to the Constitutional Convention, and to read the published letters and debates of the men who affixed their signatures to the founding documents. As one reads through the debates on the floor of the convention, one is struck by the passion that these delegates held on the subject of money. Every one of them could remember from his personal experience the utter chaos in the colonies caused by the issuance of fiat money. They spoke out against it in no uncertain terms, and they were adamant that it should never be tolerated again in America, at either the state or federal level. Furthermore, it's uneasy to miss their intent. As one has to do is to look at the monetary history that led up to the Constitutional Convention. All one has to do is look at the monetary history that led up to the Constitutional Convention, and to read the published letters and debates of the men who affixed their signature to that founding document. 制宪会议 Convention, Constitutional Convention, founding document affixed their signature. As one read through the debates on the floor of the convention, one is struck击打、碰撞、撞击、给予、清晰、突然想起、迷入 the passion that these delegates held on the subject of money. On the floor, 现场 struck by delegates. Every one of them could remember from his personal experience the utter chaos in the colonies caused by the issuance of fiat money. They spoke out against it in no uncertain, and they were adamant that it should never be tolerated again in America at either state or federal level. In no uncertain terms. Adamant, states or federal level. Paper money in the colonies. The first colonial experience with fiat money was in the period of 1619 to 1764. 74年. Massachusetts was the first to use it as a means of financing its military raids against the French colony in Quebec. The other colonies were quick to follow suit, and within a few years were engaging in a virtual orgy of printing bills of credit. There was no central bank involved. The process was simple and direct, as was the reason behind it. As one colonial legislator explained it, "Do you think, gentlemen, that I will consent, allowed my constituents with taxes when we can send to our printer and get a wagon load of money, one quarter of which will pay for the whole?" 啥意思？ And I will consent to loan my consent to loan my constitution constitution constituents with tax to load my constituents with taxes. We can send to our printer and get a wagon load of money. One quarter of which will pay for the whole. 先生们，你们认为我会同意给我的人，当我开发拿任何与其中一点可以做成分时，与其辛苦征税，不如直接印钱解决问题，暗指法定货币。这个意思。Do you think, gentlemen, that I will consent to load my constituents with taxes when we can send our printer and get a wagon load of money, one quarter of which will pay for the whole? The consequences of this enlightened statesmanship were classic. Prices rocketed, legal tender laws, legal tender laws were enacted to force the colonists to accept the worthless paper, and the common man endured great personal losses and hardship. By the late 1750s, Connecticut had price inflated by 500%. The colonies had inflated 9 Massachusetts, 100 Rhode Island. The situation was so out of hand that, beginning in 1951, the British Parliament stepped in, and in one of those rare instances where interference from the mother country actually benefits the colonists, it forced them to cease the production of fiat money. Henceforth, the Bank of England would be the only source. The situation was so out of hand. The situation was so out of hand that, beginning, the British Parliament stepped in. Parliament stepped in. And in one of those rare instances where interference from the mother country actually benefits the colonies. Rare instances, it forced them to cease the production of fiat money. Henceforth, the Bank of England would be the only source. What followed was unforeseen, 不可预见, by the promoters of fiat money. Amid great gloom about insufficient money, a miracle bomb of prosperity occurred. The forced use of fiat money had compelled everyone to hoard their real money and use the worthless paper instead. Now that the paper was in disgrace, the colonists began to use their English and French and Dutch gold coins once again. Prices rapidly adjusted to reality, and commerce returned to a solid footing. It remains so even during the economic strain of the 7 Years' War, and during the period immediately prior to the revolution. Here was the perfect example of how an economic system in distress can recover if government does not interfere with the healing process. 不可预见的事。Promoters of Vietnam. Promotion, promoter, promotion, promoter. Amid great gloom. Amid amid 在什么之中 ？Amid great gloom. Gloom about insufficient money, a miracle bomb of prosperity occurred. The forced use of fiat money had compelled everyone to hoard their real money and use those instead. Now that the paper was in disgrace, the colonists began to use their English and Dutch coins once again in disgrace. Prices rapidly adjusted to reality and the commerce returned to a solid footing. It remained so even during the economic strain of the 17th century and during the period immediately prior to the Revolution. It remained so even. It remained so even during the economic strain of 7 Years' War and during the period immediate prior to the revolution. Here was a perfect example of how an economic system in distress can recover if government does not interfere. With the healing process. Healing. Healing. Heal the world. Na, 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 na. The stress. Here was a perfect example of how an society in distress can recover. The government does not interfere with the healing process. Okay. Wartime inflation. But all of this came to a halt with the onset of colony rebelling. Not only did open hostilities through England deeper into the cogs and the wheels of the central bank mechanism, it also was the compelling motive for the colonies to return to their printing presses. The following figures speak eloquently for themselves. All of this came to a halt with the one-side colonists rebelling. 然而好景不长。All this came to a halt with one side of the colonies rebelling. 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 Came to a halt.独立战争，1775年，美国独立战争。Not only did open hostility threw England deeper into the cogs and wheels of the central bank mechanism. 公开的敌对性，并且英国更深陷入中央银行机制的齿轮之中。The cogs and wheels of the central bank mechanism threw England deeper into. 战争加重英国依赖银行借贷。It also was the compelling compel 强迫 compel for the colonies to return to their printing presses. The following figures speak eloquently. For themselves. 可能是第一家中央银行。At the beginning of the war, the total money supply for the Federate colonies stood at 12 million. In June of that year, the Continental Congress issued another 2 million. Before the notes were printed, another 1 million was authorized. By the end of the year, another 3 million. Oh my goodness. A total of, in 5 years, on top of the base of 12, percent of 2,000%. On top of this federal money, the states were doing the same in approximately equal amount, and still more, the Continental Army, unable to get enough money from Congress, issued certificates for the purchase of supplies totaling 200 million. Created in 5 years on top of the base of shares is an expansion of the money supply over 5,000. Although the economy was devastated by this flood of fiat money, most victims were totally unaware of the cause. Most victims were totally unaware of the cause. In 1777, the sentiment of the large segment of the population was expressed by the words of one patriotic old lady who said, "What a shame it is that Congress should let the poor soldiers suffer when they have power to make just as much money as they choose." The immediate result of this money infusion was the appearance of prosperity. After all, everyone had more money, and that was perceived as a very good thing. But this was quickly followed by inflation as the self-destruct mechanism began to roll. In 1775, the colony monetary unit called the Continental was valued at $1 in gold. In 1900, it was exchanged for 25 cents, and in just 4 years from its issue, it was worth less than a penny and ceased to calculate as money at all. It was in that year that George Washington wrote, "A wagon load of money will scarcely purchase a wagon load of provision." The saying "not worth continuous" is original in this gloomy period. The true nature of the inflation effect has never been more accurately perceived or more vividly described than it was by Thomas Jefferson. Perceive, 战争引出纸币回归。尽管although the economy was devastated, devastated by this flood of fiat money, most victims were totally unaware of the cause. In 1777, the sentiment of a large segment of population was surprised by the words for one patriot old lady, who said, "What shame it is the Congress should let the poor soldier suffer when they have the power to make just as much money as they choose." Oh, this immediately resulted in money inflation was appearing. The immediate result of this money inflation was the appearance of prosperity. After all, everyone had more money, and that was perhaps a very good thing, and that was perceived as a very good thing. But this was quickly followed by inflation as the self-destruct mechanism began to roll. 自毁机制开始运转。The colony monetary unit called the Continental $1 in gold. It was in that year George Washington wrote, wagon 一马车 wagon wagon lot of money will scarcely purchase a wagon not worth accounting as its original uses gloomy period. The truth of nature is the flesh effort, more accurately perceived, or more validly described. Perceived as perceived as the true nature of the geopolitical effect has never been more accurately perceived or more vividly described than it was by Thomas Jefferson. It will be asked, how will these two masses of constant and state money have cost the people of the United States $2 million when they are to redeemed now was about 6 million. I answer that differences in 66 million has been lost on the paper bills separated by the success of holders of them. Everyone through whose hand the bill passed lost on that bill what it lost in value during the time it was in his hand. This was a real tax on him, and in this way the people of the United States actually contributed those $66 million during the war. And by a mode of taxation, the most oppressive or because the most unequal for the most oppressive or press controls and legal tender laws. Okay, I think that's all for today. 30313. Okay, I think that's all for today. Okay, see you tomorrow. Wow. The methods constitution of state money have cost the people of the United States $17 when they are to be redeemed now with about 16 money. I answer that difference has been lost on the paper bills separated by the successive holders of them. Everyone through whose hand the bill passed lost on that bill what it lost in value during time lost in his hand. 经手的时候就丢失了。It was a real tax on him. 这才是真正的 tax. And in this way, the people of the United States actually contributes those of dollars during the war. And by modern taxation, by mode of taxation, the most oppressive of all, because the most unequal law. Okay, I think that's all for today. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Okay. 哇，这里边 let's wrap it up today. 哇，这里边有个问题啊。经济繁荣的时期，法定货币会被禁止，但是只是禁止一段时间。随后，这些银行家们肯定会挑起战争。这就为什么说美联储就是为战争而储备，肯定要挑起挑起战争，肯定会货币超发，法币就会提上日程。内在逻辑就是这个。Okay, that's all for today. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.